Errol Spence Trnr talks about fighters like Terrence Crawford or anybody else trying to move and use movement in the ring with Errol Spence. Errol Spence Trnr, Derrick James, also admits that Terrence Crawford, he's a tough fight. That's what I'll talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, Fight Hype, I just watched an interview, link in the description. My dude Aaron did an interview with Derrick James, and Derrick James said some interesting things. You guys, again, click the link in the description. Watch the video in its entirety. In my video, I'm just gonna paraphrase and more so give my thoughts on what was said. Derrick James basically said fighters can try to use movement as much as they want, but you gonna do what Errol Spence says. What does Derrick James mean by that? He's basically saying that when you get in a fight with Errol Spence, he pretty much dictates the pace of the fight and at what range the fight is fought. And I like this from Derrick James because that's a part of boxing. Part of boxing is you don't do what your opponent, your foe wants to do. You make your foe or opponent do what you want them to do. So it makes sense to, if your guy wants to use lateral movement and use a bunch of movement and evade because you're a heavy hitter, to corner them, cut off the ring and make the ring feel real small. So in the end, they have nowhere to go. And then you notice when fighters are uncomfortable, that level of discomfort, it actually burns off some of your energy because somebody's making you fight at a pace that you don't really want to fight. And I believe even Errol Spence Jr., I don't know if he really anticipated this. This is just my perspective in the Shawn Porter fight. But Shawn Porter buckled down and was in there trading with them. And it was a war until he got dropped. And then Errol started pulling away, you know, right around that, maybe a couple rounds before that. But it's different. The difference being is Errol Spence is a dog. So he has that type of temperament where he's like, all right, that's what it's going to be. And then Errol Spence bit down his mouthpiece, was well conditioned for that fight. And it turned out to be a firefight. So I like this from Derrick James. He's basically just saying that it's going to be what we want it to be, what Errol Spence wants it to be. And all that movement, guys think they're going to move around in the ring and do all this and that. But when you're forced to fight, you're forced to fight. And I remember Floyd Mayweather did an interview where he was, well, it wasn't really an interview. It was him on video talking to Devin Haney. And he was talking about the less punishment you take in the sport, the better for your career and the longevity. But one of the things he says is in that interview, I remember Floyd basically said, you're going to get certain guys and they're going to force you to fight no matter what you want to do. And Errol Spence could be one of those fighters where his style, the way he comes, you have to stand your ground, at least in some sense, because if you don't, then it's probably going to be worse if you don't get some respect in there where he feels he has to be cautious of what was coming back. So it should be a great fight. Derrick James also admitted that the Terrence Crawford fight is a tough fight. This, to me, goes without saying. You got the two best welterweights in the world, and they both are champions, both undefeated, both with styles that should gel and mix and mesh well with the other person. So it's not surprising that he says that. In my honest opinion, I particularly like Errol Spence's side of the commentary a lot more than some of what I've seen from Terrence Crawford's entourage, because I'm not a real radical person, you know? So when I hear a lot of the Terrence Crawford, it's just like, oh, he's going to kick his butt. Oh, he's going to murder him. He's going to beat him. He's going to destroy your boy. And it's more so like that. Like I remember Errol Spence beat Ugas and Bomac went on Twitter and he says, Bud's going to beat the ish out of that man or something to that effect. But when you talk to Derrick James, it's a whole different conversation. Derrick James is kind of breaking down the fight, giving the ins and outs, and it's more of a scientific breakdown. And just the fact that he didn't just say Errol Spence, like he talked his talk, don't get that twisted, but he didn't just go in there and say, oh, Errol Spence is going to destroy Terrence Crawford. He's admitting it's a tough fight. So for me, commentary like that tends to be more reasonable, and I tend to side with commentary that seems a bit more reasonable. This is every bit of a 50-50 fight, and it's a great fight. So we could just leave it at that. So I told you, for me, it's like it's hard for me to respect any type of commentary that just sounds like rah, 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 that's not giving both of these fighters a chance, not giving both of these fighters proper respect. So salute to Derrick James for doing that. I thought what he said was real reasonable. Of course, he's going to back his man. I'm not, I would never be mad at that. That's your fighter. That's your team. That's your friend. That's your family. So, of course, you're going to back your person to win. But it's not just in doing that. It's what you say. Just because you back your person to win doesn't mean you can't be reasonable on the other side of the board and acknowledge and admit, yo, the other dude, he got some skills too. Of course, I'm backing my dude, but pause. But at the end of the day, that man can fight as well. And there's nothing non-masculine about doing that, in my opinion. It just makes me respect you even more when you're basically reasonable with your commentary, especially in boxing. This is a gentleman's sport. Let me know what you guys think. I got loads more videos coming. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment, and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.